Hello, folks. We are now live, and we're going to start in about 10 minutes. ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin. If I could ask you to please take a moment to turn any cell phones you may have to their silent mode at this time. We are live streaming our service today, so if you do not wish to be recorded, just don't step in front of the camera right over here. Officiating our service today is Rabbi Cantor Nancy Diamond Landsman. Thank you.
We have one extra chair for anyone who feels the need to sit. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather of wisdom. So please take advantage of it. Please, yes. Your safety is our number one concern. If you are wearing the Kriya ribbon, I would invite you please to stand. So Lisa and Stephen, if you could please stand. Many times mourners will tear their clothing as a sign of mourning. You have that option, or you have the option of, in a moment, making a tear in the black ribbon that has been provided for you. You can choose to wear this ribbon just today, or the first week of mourning, or the period of Shloshim, which is 30 days of mourning from today for 30 days. And you can choose to wear it on the outside or on the inside. It's really your choice. If you wear it on the outside, hopefully as you go out, if you go out during this pandemic, people will see that you're wearing a torn ribbon, and hopefully they'll understand that this means that you are in a period of mourning. They'll have compassion on you. You'll notice that the ribbon has been placed on the left side, and it's only children who wear the ribbon on the left side over the heart, because there is no bond as unique and special as that between a parent and a child. We know everyone's hearts are torn as we say goodbye to your mother. And I invite you to repeat after me these traditional Hebrew words of Kriya. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Dayan Ha'emet. These words mean, praised are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, judge of truth. For we know it was God's eternal judgment that your mother was taken to her final resting place. So now I invite you from the bottom to just make a tear. You can tear it as far up toward the button as you'd like, and then you can have a seat. It's okay, or you can get another one. That happens sometimes. On behalf of Lisa and Scott and Stephen and Jennifer and the whole family, thank you all so much for being here today. And for those of you who are joining us virtually, we thank you for being here. We know these are difficult times for all of us, and we wish that more could be here physically to comfort the family as they go through this difficult time. So we come to this sacred place drawn by the eternal ties that bind your souls to the soul of your beloved Carol. At times such as this, we look for comfort, and we often find that when we turn to the book of Psalms. Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains. From whence shall my help come? My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Joseph Epstein wrote, we do not choose to be born. We do not choose our parents or siblings or our times or country of birth or the circumstances of our upbringing. We do not, most of us, choose to die or the time or conditions of our death. But within all this realm of choicelessness, we do choose how we shall live, courageously or in cowardice, honorably or dishonorably, with purpose or adrift. We decide what is important and what is trivial. What makes us significant is what we do or refuse to do. We decide and we choose, and so we give definition to our lives. From what I learned about Carol, she gave great definition to her life. You've been blessed to have had this incredible woman in your life. It would have been an honor to have known her. Not knowing that there would be a poem in here about teachers in your service folders, I prepared to share with you this short, beautiful poem entitled God Made Teachers. Unfortunately, the author is unknown. God understood our thirst for knowledge and our need to be led by someone wiser. He needed a heart of compassion, of encouragement, and patience. Someone who would accept the challenge regardless of the opposition. Someone who could see potential and believe in the best in others. So God made teachers. And God made Carol Becker. And she changed the lives for so many people and made their lives better. She was truly a blessing. Regardless of your faith or tradition, I think a psalm that speaks to all of us is one you find in your service folders. And I'd like to invite all of you to join with us. Do we have any extra? Do you need? Oh, you have it. Okay. To join in together, even those of you virtually, if you know the 23rd Psalm, let us all join together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The author of the following is also unknown. It's entitled The Greatest Gift. One of the greatest gifts that life can give to anyone is the very special love that families share. As years go by, it's good to know that there will always be certain people in our lives who care. For there are countless things that only families have in common, and memories that no one else can make. And these precious ties that bind a family together are bonds that time and distance cannot break. How fortunate we are when we have relatives to love us. It makes the world a happy place to be. Few gifts in life will last as long or touch the heart as deeply as the very special gift of family. So it's my honor today to call upon some speakers, starting with some family members. We'll start with Stephen to come.
My mom really liked music. I like music. So there's a song. It's kind of rung for me. It's been good. It's by a band called Coldplay. Highly suggest checking them out. And it's called Fix You. When you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel you're so tired, but you can't sleep. You're stuck in reverse. When the tears come streaming down your face, because you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone, but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home, and I will try to fix you. High up above or down below, when you are too in love to let it show. But if you never try, you'll never know just what you're worth. And lights will guide you home, and I will try to fix you. Tears come streaming down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. I promise you I'll learn from all my mistakes, and the tears streaming down your face. Lights will guide you home, and I will try to fix you. My mom, she loved the White Sox. She was awesome. She was cultured. Beyond anybody I know. She was well traveled, thanks to her friends. And she was always forgiving of our faults. Mostly talking about you, but I'll take talk. So with that, I say thank you to Lisa for caring for Mom. Thank you, Isaac, for bringing so much joy to your Nana's life. She loved your visits. Sneaking into movies, after movies, after movies. Don't know what the record is, but I'm sure it was 3. She was so proud of all your accomplishments. We all wish that we could have fixed Mom's Parkinson's. And we all shared, somehow, in her times of need and support. She was truly gracious to all in her life, her family, her dear friends, and again, Lisa, her favorite daughter. No, she called me Lisa a couple times. I get the confusion. Lisa, I know how hard this is for you. I know that in your pain and sorrow, this is taken from someone else's. They're great words. Please know that your heartfelt care and steadfast support of your mother, our mother, will be the foundation of your healing. I love you, Mom. Please be at peace. Enjoy the music. I will forever play it in your honor, your grace, in my heart.
Try. It's my honor to invite Lisa. It's hard to talk at this time, but do your best. Everyone will be very forgiving.
What I have to say go on and on. In all, I am honored to have been able to call this wonderful woman my mother. Everyone loved her. She had an excellent sense of humor. She made people feel better about themselves. And as Stephen said, she was very cultured. She was a very worldly woman. And she loved each and every one of you that are standing here today and all of the people who cannot make it today. She knew how much she meant to everyone. And I hope each and every one of you know that you meant the world to her. Um, I thank you for being the wonderful son that you have been. Isaac, she adored you. She loved your children. She just talked about them all the time. She loved looking at the photos over and over, and she would just smile. Um, Her friends, you have all been the best of friends that you could have been to her. For keeping in touch with her when she moved to Indiana. Um, all of the people in Clarendale, they have taken such good care of her, and I'm thankful to them as well. Um, Family, everyone, thank you for coming today. Mom, I love you.
Beautiful, thank you. And now it's my honor to call upon Tracy to come forward, cousin of Carol. Thank you. I'm Mitch's daughter, Tracy, and Francis's niece, and I have something to read from Frances Crancy, I think, is what Carol called her, because she's in California and can't be here today. I knew Carol her entire life. There aren't many people left besides my brother Mitch who can say they had that pleasure. She was our youngest cousin in the U.S., and she spent a lot of time with our family growing up. She was like a little sister to me, something that meant the world to a kid sister of a big brother. When she was very little, she could not pronounce Florence, so my mother became Torrance Mommy. We teased her relentlessly about that. What else is a little sister for? As adults, we talked frequently on the phone as we lived far apart and did not get to see each other as often as either of us would have liked. She enjoyed telling me about the books she was reading and wanted to know about what I liked to read or watch on TV. She loved to travel and did a lot of trips with girlfriends. She loved her kids and grandkids, and I was always happy to hear about them from her, and in the social media age, keep up with their exploits. The last few years were not very easy for her, or for Lisa, who, in spite of the challenge, stepped in beautifully and did a great job caring for her. All of us are grateful to Lisa for such a job well done, making the end of Carol's journey as comfortable and loving as possible. Though Carol is gone, I will always keep her in my memories. The blessing of the remembrance of all the good times we shared will comfort me forever. And now it's my honor to call upon one of Carol's dear friends, Diane.
I first met Carol in the summer of 1992. We were seated next to each other on an El Al flight bound for Israel for a JUF mission. We became fast friends during that 10-day trip, and this friendship has lasted for almost 30 years. We both worked for the Chicago Public Schools, and we both liked to travel. Therefore, we went on many trips together. We had wonderful experiences, great times, and a lot of laughs. I will always cherish Carol's friendship, kindness, thoughtfulness, and her sense of humor. She was a wonderful friend who I could depend on. Throughout the years, I had the pleasure of getting to know Lisa and Stephen and their children and their spouses, and Carol's lovely parents, Toby and Eugene Hirsch, and her extended family. Carol often did not have it easy, but when stumbling blocks were set in front of her, she learned to turn them into stepping stones. Carol, you will always have a place in my heart. I will miss you and will think of you often with fond memories. Shalom Chaveira, Aleha HaShalom. Goodbye, friend. May you rest in peace.
So beautiful. so many wonderful memories of Carol were shared with me, and I'd like to share some of those additional memories with all of you. There were quite a few adjectives used in no particular order to describe Carol. Devoted, upbeat, selfless, encouraging, fun, caring, and loving. She was someone who would speak her mind, maybe had a little rebellious side to her at times, but laughter was such a huge part of who she was, and your involvement with her. She enjoyed the arts and current events and enjoying pop culture and going to concerts and going to the movies, seeing maybe two for one, and ushering at plays. And so she could see so many plays. So many people do this. I think I'm going to do this one day when I retire, because if you love plays, it's a great way to see them by ushering. She loved nature and would often like to have, and thank you for sharing some photos, plus we have some today in the service folder, but photos of her. She liked to have her picture taken in front of especially flowers, especially if they were pink or purple. And she was very particular with how the photos should be. There shouldn't be anybody else in the background, and she wanted to look good in these photos. And it's great that you have so many of these beautiful photos of her and her beautiful smile and how much she enjoyed being with you and enjoying nature with you. So many wonderful trips all over the globe, visiting relatives in Israel where she got to go a few times, and your family vacations you recalled to Nippersink and Florida, and how she enjoyed sports, especially baseball, and she was a White Sox fan, and she really lived her life as fully as she could. If you think about all that she did, all that she got to see through her travels, her time being with you, her friends and family, she lived a great life. And by teaching and making a difference in these kids' lives, I mean, that's huge, huge. We know that none of us will live forever. But in the Jewish tradition, we do believe that our spirit can live on forever. And the way that that happens is by those of us who are still here, continuing to share the stories, the memories, so that their spirit can live on, l'dor vador, from generation to generation. So that one day, Isaac, when you have kids, you can tell them all about your wonderful mom. Isaac wrote on Facebook, and I'm quoting, "I'm always going to remember you. Words can't explain how I feel right now, but I appreciate everything you've done, ever done for me, and I'm going to miss you every day. You helped me to become the person I am today, and I'll always be grateful for everything you've taught me and showed me and done for me." Carol was so proud of her children and her grandchildren. She was so close with her cousins. It was all about family. When I asked you what was she most passionate about, the answer was family. In your phone calls, you shared with me how the first thing she would say is, "Hi, how are you? How's your family?" She always cared about you, not her. She was selfless. To quote some of you with whom I had the privilege to speak and learning about Carol, she was one of a kind. She was an enlightened soul who was loved by everyone who knew her. And Lisa, several people mentioned to me, please say something about Lisa. Steve and Lisa, you both have been amazing children and been there for your mom. But from what I understand, your mom was blessed with this angel at her side, holding her hand, devoting so much of your time and energy to your mother. Lisa, you were her angel. What a gift for both of you. You've all been blessed by knowing Carol and having her in your life. Zecher, Tzaddik, Libracha. The memory of the righteous is forever a blessing. And let us all say, Amen. The dust returns to the earth as it was. The spirit returns to God who gave it. It is only the house of the spirit which we will now lay within the earth. The spirit itself cannot die. Receive in mercy, O God, the soul of our departed, Carol Becker. David Harkins wrote, "You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you share. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she would want. Smile. Open your eyes, love, and go on." A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It's filled with moments, sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared, and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy of joy and pride and pleasure. A living, lasting memory our grateful hearts will treasure. If you are able to rise for the concluding prayers which you find in your service folders, I invite you to please rise for El Malei Rachamim and the Mourner's Kaddish. El Malei Rachamim Hamse Menucha Achat Kanfei Hashchina. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Sarah Bela Bat Yonatan Vitova, Carol H. Becker, daughter of Eugene and Eva, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us all say, Amen. to be seated for a moment while they seal the vault. You can, and then we'll stand up again for cottage. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we say together, we will remember Carol. We will remember Carol. In the going of the wind and in the chill of winter, we will remember Carol. In the open of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we'll remember her. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, like days like today, we will remember Carol. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we'll remember her. And in the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember Carol. When we are weary and in need of strength, we'll remember her. And when we are lost and sick at heart, we'll remember her. And when we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember Carol. So long as we live, Carol shall live. For she is now a part of us, as together we say, we will remember Carol. Service folders, you see this beautiful poem. It takes a special person to teach a child in class to just keep his attention in a world that moves so fast. To show a child he is unique, with talents deep inside to help to build his confidence so he can beam with pride. To show a little patience for a child who's lost his way, to a child who feels abandoned, who has seen better days. To inspire and to motivate so a child can learn and grow. To go into this big, wide world that has its highs and lows. You are a special person. You always give your best. And for every child that has your class, their life is truly blessed. I invite you to please rise for the concluding prayer, the mourner's cottage. It is said that the angels brought this prayer down from heaven. It possesses wonderful power. Truly, if there is any bond strong enough to link heaven to earth, it is this prayer. Many believe it speaks about death because we always recite it at the time of death or the yahrzeit anniversary of one's death. But actually, there's no reference to death. Rather, we affirm God's glory and omnipotence. So let us join together in exalting God's name. You find these words in your service folders in the mourner's kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah, mevarach le'olam u'lomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the author of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us all say, Amen. It is customary to invite everyone who's here to participate in the burial process. Before we do that, we have some holy earth. We have gloves here. Okay. We have gloves to invite all of you who are interested in doing this mitzvah, good deed, in participating in the burial process. First, we have some holy earth from the Mount Olives in Jerusalem, Israel. You know, many people wish to be buried in Israel, especially when you have family in Israel. But for those of us who are going to be not buried in Israel, but buried here, we bring a little of this Israel, the holy earth from Israel here. So Stephen, and Lisa, I'd like to invite the two of you to first start with this holy earth. You can either pour it right from the pouch or you can pour it into your hand. You can divide the pouch evenly between the two of you. And then you notice that there are a couple shovels here on both sides of the graves, and we have gloves for you to put on because we don't pass the shovel. The tradition is we do 3 shovels of earth into the grave. And some people turn the shovel upside down, making it very difficult to shovel, which is symbolic of how difficult it is to bury somebody that we love. So whether you shovel the way you would normally shovel or whether you turn the shovel upside down, it's 3 shovels of earth. And then you see how the shovels are in the mound of earth? When you're done shoveling, that's what you want to do. Return the shovel to the mound of earth so that each person participates in this mitzvah from his or her own free will. So we'll start with the children, Stephen and Lisa, to begin with the 3 shovels. And again, there are shovels on both sides of the grave. Please be very careful when you walk. It's not even ground, and we want everyone to be safe. And when you're done shoveling, you can just come back. So you can begin on both sides of the grave. Yeah, so it's fine either way. And again, you can, doesn't matter how much earth you get onto the shovel. Some people prefer to take 3 handfuls of earth and place it into the grave. But again, you can turn the shovel upside down if that's meaningful to you, and then return the shovel to the mound of earth when you're done.
And I'll take the dirty gloves over here.
You can form lines on both sides of the grave. Social distancing, whatever you're comfortable and safe. Is this your bag over here? Spoke beautifully. Thank you for sharing. Has everyone participated who wants to?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our service. If you'd like to stay to witness the rest of the burial, you certainly may. Otherwise, we will ask you to step to your cars.
top of the bag, but they're somewhere. Oh, yes. Good to see you as always.
Oh, I got a lot of stuff. My niece was loving I'll tell you everything. I would love to.
Tracy, it was beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you did a beautiful job. Thank you.
Me too.
Is this somebody's phone?
Yeah, mine.
It was underneath the. Oh.
It's a hot spot for the video.
It's like an appendage, you know? Thank you so much. And just cherish your memories.
All right, folks, that's the end of our service. We're going to stop the live stream.